guys, welcome to another video. I am so excited about this. This is my very first partnership slash sponsored video. I think it's more of a partnership with the company, but it's my very first one, so I'm very excited about it. And it could not be more perfect because I love this company and they're relatively new, but what they stand for is absolutely amazing, and I'm so excited to share this with you guys. So without further ado, I introduce you guys to the FreeArm feeding tube assistant. So, this is my second time filming this video because the first time, unfortunately, the footage was corrupted and then I was in the hospital, so it took me a little while to get it out. But we are filming this again and hopefully this works. So, without further ado, here is the FreeArm tube feeding assistant. This is the box that it comes in. I've already opened mine because I've been using it. Here's what it looks like, and I got the white one, but it also comes in pink and blue. I chose to get the white one just because it matched more with my stuff. It looks like this. There's a little clamp at the bottom that you can attach to things, and then there's this flexible arm here. The FreeArm tube feeding assistant is kind of like an alternative for an IV pole. It is not an IV pole, but it can take the place of one, which is really nice for a lot of people. Not only for portability, but it doesn't look as medical. I know for me, being 18 years old, I don't really like having an IV pole everywhere because it looks so hospital-like, and nobody wants their room to look like a hospital. And so when I saw this online, I was like, I need one of these immediately. And that was the best decision I ever made. But I'm gonna show you guys how it works in a second, but I'm just gonna explain it quick. The company actually started because of their son, Freeman. Unfortunately, Freeman was born with some medical conditions and he had a feeding tube, but unfortunately, Freeman passed away a little while ago. But his wonderful parents are continuing on his legacy by creating these FreeArm products to help other tubies. For me, what I do, there's this little clamp at the bottom and you can raise it up or raise it down to fit whatever surface. So we're gonna put it on the table right now. And it's really easy. So you just go onto the edge of the table, fit it down, and you just lock it like this and it's stuck on the table. It sits like this, and these can actually be used for multiple purposes when it comes to feeding tubes. So for me, I am on a pump feed, and so you are able to attach your pump right to here, which is what I'm gonna do, but you can also use it for bolus feeds, and that works really well for kids with G-tubes or adults with G-tubes, or anybody who does bolus feeding. I don't do bolus feeding, so I can't really demonstrate that to you guys, but I will put a picture right here of the bolus feed option. So let's go ahead and set up my feeds and talk a little bit more about the FreeArm. So the first thing that you need to do is you would put on your clamp that you would normally put on your IV pole, but you could fit it right onto the FreeArm. So let's take this, and it's super easy. And the thing that I like about it a lot is that it's portable. I know for me, if I'm traveling, I can't bring an IV pole with me because it's heavy, it doesn't really collapse. And it's really, really hard to lug around and takes up a lot of space. And the FreeArm, the nice thing about this is you can use it anywhere, and as soon as you're done with it, you can collapse it. You can even keep it right in the little box. I mean, I use it at home. I haven't gone anywhere, but I fully plan on bringing this with me every time I travel because it is just a great option. But okay, so as you can see, I got my clamp right on there. It fits on the exact same way you'd put it on an IV pole. This is my feeding tube pump, and this is my feed bag. So what you would do is you would fit your little feed bag onto the top right there, so it would just hang. And then you can just screw your pump on, and there you go. Now you have your feeding tube all set up on this tiny little setup. It might not seem like that big of a deal, but for somebody who is on feeds 24 hours of the day, though, Scooby, for somebody who is on feeds 24 hours of the day, this is so handy to have with me, because when I'm going to bed, rather than putting it in my backpack, which it can get kinked or rolled over, or like the bag can get tipped and it goes off all the time, this way, the same way that an IV pole, it keeps the formula at the bottom so that it doesn't go off in the middle of the night. I can just clip this to my nightstand, which is what I typically do at night. I will show you guys all the places that I put it, but it is so handy. Like, I cannot even explain to you guys how much of a lifesaver and a game changer this has been. And I'm so excited about it. I'm gonna show you guys just how easy it is to set this up and move it. I already set it up and I showed you guys how easy it was. It took me 1 minute to do or less. So now let's show you guys where it can go. I know, once again, I'm not on bolus feeds, but if you have somebody who was on bolus feeds and say you went out to dinner at a restaurant and they were gonna have their meal, you could put it on the FreeArm and just secure the FreeArm to the table, and that would free up your hand. If you are helping that person bolus feed, like somebody has to hold that syringe. Well, not anymore, because the FreeArm, you can just hook it right up there, and then you can enjoy your meal, and the person who is having their meal doesn't have to do any work either. It makes life so much easier. I was actually really surprised when I was on the phone with them. I'm like, I could put this on my wheelchair. Typically, I would just hang my backpack on my wheelchair, but sometimes the tubes, like I said, can get kinked in a backpack. I don't use like specific feeding tube backpacks because I think like normal backpacks are cuter, but unfortunately that does leave you open to kinks and the pump goes off a lot. I have noticed personally, and this is my personal opinion, but I have noticed that when I use the FreeArm, I have significantly less beeping and kinks. Ultimately, that means that I don't have to listen to my pump all the time. It does fit on the back of my wheelchair, but I'm gonna show you guys other places that I put it. So this is my nightstand right here, right next to my bed. Unfortunately, it's facing this direction right now, but I would typically do it a little bit differently. I would put it up a little bit higher so that I can see the pump. But then you just take it. It's kind of hard to see, but I just secure it to the edge of my nightstand here. And then while I'm in bed, my feeding tube is conveniently right here, and the tubing up here doesn't kink, and I don't get air bubbles, and it works so much better than keeping it in my backpack, and it's just nice and small. It doesn't look quite as medical as like an IV pole. I mean, it's obviously still there. There's no way to avoid that. It's still a feeding tube. It's still a medical device, but it's smaller, and you can get it in colors. And I actually decorated mine, like for Christmas. I like wrapped little things on it to look like a candy cane. It's been a game changer. That's just how I put it next to my bed. I just secure it to my nightstand, but it's so easy. You can just take it off and move it wherever you need to go. So let's put it back on the table here, and you can adjust it however you like. And what I've found is that it holds roughly 500 mils of fluid or feed or whatever at a time. I mean, it is only a small device, so unfortunately you can't put like a ton of stuff on there. But for me, like, I just have my feed bag, and I use the little bags anyways, and so it holds about 500 mils, and like above that is a little too heavy, and that's what I've found. So there's a tip for you guys, but it can go anywhere. Like that is the main thing that I really like about it, is the portability. Like the fact that I can use it anywhere. If I want to hook it to this chair, or if I'm out at a restaurant, I want to hook it onto the chair that I'm sitting on, I can do that. If I want to hook it onto the table, or if I'm on an airplane, you can use it. And like, you obviously can't bring an IV pole on an airplane, but something like this is so convenient. And I literally can't stress enough how much of a difference this makes for both bolus and pump feeding. And once again, I do want to mention, it is not classified as an IV pole. It is a different type of pump holder, but it is not an IV pole. Just clarification with that. As much as I love the product, I also really just love the story behind it. It was a family who had a kid who was really ill and had a feeding tube, and this is what they created to help them out in their daily life. And as I mentioned before, unfortunately Freeman passed away, but his parents are keeping his legacy alive by creating these for other people to use. And I think that's great. Like, they turned something that is so tragic and sad into something so good that they can help others with. And that's something that I can stand behind, because I do something very similar. Like, I chose to take my illness and use it to help others, and to show that you can still live your life with joy. And So I am all for the story behind this. The last thing that I want to mention is what is available for you guys. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, yes, there is something for you. If you have a feeding tube, or I forgot to mention, I've actually hung my IV fluids on this before, and that works too. I just use my clamp for my pump, and I just hook it on there the same way that I would a feeding tube, and it can hold my IV fluids. I mean, it's designed for feeding tubes, but it can work for so many other things as well. So even if you don't have a feeding tube, but say you have IVs at home or something, this can work for that too. It doesn't only work for feeding tube products. But for all of you guys out there who are interested in the FreeArm, I will leave their link in the description to their shop where you can purchase one of these. And we created a coupon code, LifeWithStripes20. If you use my code when you go to buy a FreeArm, you will get 20% off of your product. And for every 10 of my coupon codes that is used, they will give away a FreeArm to somebody for free. That was something that I was so surprised by and so thankful, because for some people it can be a little bit pricey. These are $75, but I know that there are so many people out there who can't afford a FreeArm, but could really benefit from them. So we decided that for every 10 orders that have used the code LifeWithStripes20, they will send me a FreeArm to send to one of you guys, or they can send it to you directly. We will figure out the details when the time comes, but rather than giving me another FreeArm, I want to give it to you guys because I already have one. I want as many people to benefit from this as possible. And so if you can't afford a FreeArm, message me, because hopefully together we can partner, not only share about the FreeArm, but help some people out who might not be able to afford it otherwise. So I'm so excited, and once again, I will leave the link in the description so you can go check out their website and order one if you'd like, and don't forget to use the code LifeWithStripes20. But I'm so excited, like, not only because this is my first partnered video, but because it is something that I truly stand behind. I've gotten a lot of emails from businesses and stuff like that that have asked to sponsor my videos or wanting me to partner with them, and there's a reason that I haven't done it until now. So many people do videos on YouTube that are partnered or sponsored, and they're not always something that they really believe in. I was waiting until I found a product that I really could back up. I don't want to promote products that I don't believe in or that I don't think are useful. And this is definitely something that I can get behind. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that you will go check out the FreeArm. They have an Instagram page. I will link all of their stuff in the description, and I really hope you will check it out. I think I covered everything, but if you have any questions about the FreeArm, please comment them down below and I will get back to you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about the FreeArm, and I hope you check it out yourself. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! So this is my my goodness, what is wrong with me today? I tried to use the wrong one. And if you use that code when you go to buy your FreeArm to help some people out,